Joining us is Shaun Rein, founder of the China Market Research Group, along with Waddell & Associates CEO David Waddell, who's here on set with us. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
Shaun, you can go ahead. I mean, why do you think the Chinese hold the cards here?
Well, it's great to be here, Kelly. It's very clear to the Chinese that China has the upper hand in the trade war with Trump. Basically, anything that the United States can produce, except for semiconductors and ethane, the Chinese can buy from other countries. So over the last 2 months, the Chinese have pivoted. Instead of buying American beef, they're buying beef from Australia. Instead of buying American soybeans, they're buying soybeans from Brazil. And instead of buying oil from America, they're buying oil from Canada. So semiconductors are one of the things that the United States has its power with. But right now, China has invested hundreds of billions of dollars into indigenous innovation, which is why Huawei has emerged as one of the largest chip makers in the world. You can even hear, Kelly, that Jensen Huang, the founder of NVIDIA, has said they're going to lose 15 billion US dollars in sales because Huawei and other Chinese semiconductor companies are emerging to be not only good enough, but almost as good, if not even better than NVIDIA. And so the Chinese feel they have the upper hand in the trade war because they can replace the United States. The second thing is, and this is really important, the R word, or resolve. China is going to push back much harder than most Americans think because they feel they're strong. And this is part of their genesis story. The founding of the CPC was really basically China pushing back against Western imperialist powers from the UK, Europe, and even the United States in the 19th century in the run-up to the British Opium Wars. So Xi Jinping and the CPC is playing to two audiences. One, international trade, like I said before, and also to the Chinese population. They want to show the Chinese people that China has emerged strong, and the Chinese will have the R word, resolve, to push back against Trump. Much harder than Scotty Bessent, much harder than Donald Trump think, Kelly.
So David, with all of that in mind, this is also a pendulum that has swung back and forth numerous times over the last few years, and even more so over the last few decades. China is the next best investable thing. Do not invest in China whatsoever. David Tepper, at one point, buy everything China. And now we're back to sell everything China, and then American exceptionalism. If you're going to navigate this, do you play the pendulum or do you try to allocate based upon the longer term, as some people may or may not want to do given headline risk?
Well, I mean, China is a massive economy, and there are a lot of good stories going on over there. Let's not forget, U.S. GDP was down in the first quarter. Chinese GDP was up more than 5%. If you invested in the SPY year to date, you're flat. If you invested in the FXI, which is the top 50 Chinese companies, you're up 15%. So I think one of the misconceptions during this negotiation, and I think your previous guest is right, is that Trump has told us that China really depends on the United States of America. The tariffs that went into place in April led to a reduction in exports to the United States of America of 20% in April. That sounds pretty significant, except for the fact that exports overall were up for March. So while the U.S. is a large customer, the U.S. is not the only customer, and the Chinese do a good job of pivoting. So this is a really long-term story. The center of it really is currency. The center of it is rebalancing the Chinese economy to more consumption-based and less export-based. These things happen over decades, as you said. They don't happen over days. And in Chinese language, they happen over dynasties. So they're not going to get anything significant done except maybe something, symbolic or cosmetic, I think, during this period of time. And we have to figure out how to get out of this. But I do take some solace in the fact that the yuan has started to appreciate a little bit against the dollar. To me, that's a signal that they're playing nice with us, even if the rhetoric is somewhat hot.